We're going to start out with a brief welcome from President and CEO of the Renewable Fuels Association, Bob Dineen. Then we'll be turning to our Executive Director of the Reserve Officers Association, Lieutenant General Dennis McCarthy, for the introduction of the speaker and formal welcome. Mr. Woolsey will give the keynote address, and that will be followed by a panel moderated by Bill Holmberg. And we're going to move quickly through all these events. So I think we'll have a very enjoyable and informative afternoon ahead of us. It's my pleasure at this time to introduce the President and CEO of the Renewable Fuels Association, Bob Dineen.
Thank you, Bob. And following Bob's admonition that we're going to move through these things quickly, I'm not going to speak very long, but I do want to, on behalf of the members of the Renewable Fuels Association, which is the national trade association representing the U.S. ethanol industry, want to thank you all for coming. I really want to thank the Reserve Officers Association for helping to put this event together. I want to thank the other veterans groups that are in the audience as well, and I want to thank each and every one of you for coming today. This is a very important subject, I believe. It touches every single one of us. And just 2 days removed from Veterans Day, I just want to take a moment to acknowledge the veterans that are in the audience and to thank them for their service. What you do, what you have done, this nation owes a great deal of gratitude. So thank you. The U.S. ethanol industry is growing extraordinarily fast. We represent today some 130 plants across the country that are producing more than 6.5 billion gallons, but there are another 73 plants that are under construction that will double the size of our industry to more than 13 billion gallons within 18 months. That's important because the need for energy today, the need for liquid transportation fuels, the need for fuels that can be domestically produced and will help us reduce global warming emissions is significant. Ethanol is helping us do that. We are at a crossroads today in this country. We're either going to pursue a path of greater dependence on petroleum and all of the national security, geopolitical, economic, and environmental consequences that that path would provide, or we are going to take a bold step toward a more sustainable energy future, one that relies in part on renewable fuels like ethanol and biodiesel and biobutanol and all of the other potential domestically produced renewable fuels that can be produced. The industry wants to follow that second path. There's not a company that I represent that doesn't have a very aggressive cellulose to ethanol research program underway, because we do recognize that there are limits to what you're going to be able to do from grain, and to truly become a fuel that will have a more meaningful impact on our total U.S. motor fuel demand and create a situation where we can be much less dependent on imports. We're going to have to crack that code and be able to produce ethanol from other feedstocks. But we're moving in that direction. Already today, ethanol is having a significant impact. The ethanol that was produced last year was the equivalent of some 240 million barrels of oil. That's more oil than we are getting from Iraq today. We can make a difference. There is the opportunity to grow this industry further and to become a more meaningful part of the U.S. motor fuel marketplace. But there has to be the political will to do so. And people need to recognize the very real challenges that are confronting us. $100 a barrel oil is what we're careening toward today. That's waking everybody up. But quite frankly, even before that, people should recognize that our dependence on imported oil is creating an untenable situation. We are funding terrorists, as Jim Woolsey likes to say. We are complicating our foreign policy. Our dependence on imported oil, frankly, has become far too costly for us not to take bold steps to reduce that dependency. What we have today is a great keynote speaker and the former director of the CIA, Jim Woolsey, who has spoken eloquently on this subject over the years. And Bill Holmberg has put together a terrific panel for you that will dig into the weeds a little bit and and articulate some of the real challenges and opportunities that biofuels present. And I look forward to that discussion. And again, I really appreciate each of you for being here today. Now, General McCarthy, if you want to kick this off.
Good afternoon. I'm Dennis McCarthy, the Executive Director of the Reserve Officers Association, and it's my pleasure to welcome you here today. If you'll indulge me for just a minute, ROA was founded in 1922 by General Pershing, and he saw those post-World War II officers, Guard and Reserve officers, as a communication channel to the rest of the country. This building was built in about 1967, and frankly, it exists for that purpose, to create an opportunity to communicate within the country and to the country about issues of great importance. And so that's why we're very, very pleased to be hosting this event today. Our speaker, as you know, is a very, very distinguished American. His educational credentials, all you have to do is say the schools, and you know everything you need to know. Stanford, Oxford, and Yale. Undersecretary of the Navy, Director of Central Intelligence, still engaged in matters of great import in the national security area. And we like to talk a lot about citizen warriors. I would suggest that not all citizen warriors wear a uniform, but they keep a foot both in the citizen camp and in the defense camp. And certainly, our speaker today qualifies on both of those counts. So it's a great pleasure to welcome former Director of the Central Intelligence Agency, Jim Woolsey.